Hi.
Yay!
Hello.
Here we are. Hi, Jenna.
We're here. Yay. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the August of Glass Reflections Conversations. My name is Jenna. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Operations and Programs Manager for the Glass Art Society. For those who may be new to this space and this program in particular, every Thursday I go on Instagram Live here on the Glass Art Society platform to interview artists, educators, curators, anyone really in the glass community to discuss how glass can be a vehicle for self-care, how to cultivate sustainable art careers, and also to highlight just the resiliency of glass artists who are also entrepreneurs in and of themselves. Today, we are joined by glass artist and designer Bibi Smit. And Bibi graduated with a Bachelor of Art and Honors, I might add, from the West Surrey College of Art and Design in Farnham, England. She was a glassblowing assistant to Willem Heesen in Holland and trained at Lindian Mill Glass in Scotland. She has lectured at the Edinburgh College of Art and Sutherland University, as well as other glass centres in Europe. After initially setting up her glass studio in the Scottish borders, since 2016, she has settled in the Netherlands, where I believe you are tuning in from today. Also, to want to highlight about Bibi is that she has her own glassblowing workshop, which we might actually get to see today. And at this workshop, she creates unique pieces for exhibitions and commissions, and also functional pieces such as drinking glasses. So thank you so much, Bibi, for being our next special guest.
Thank you, Jenna.
Is there anything else that you would like to add about your bio or other information you'd like folks to know about you?
Well, Jenna, your introduction was so perfect, and I have nothing to add, but I would like to say thank you for having me, and I'm really excited to be part of the GAS and part of this this Instagram program. So it's nice to chat with you again.
Yeah, I'm glad we're able to be here also. I think that's one of the greatest benefits about this whole virtual landscape is even across time zones. And what time is it for you right now?
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're in the morning, I'm in the evening. This is literally the last day of work. I'm off on holiday tomorrow morning, so you caught me perfectly on time.
Oh, lovely. Where are you going for holiday?
We're going to France. We're going to France. Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, so lovely. So yes, so in this kind of conversation, I would love to learn a little bit more about maybe your relationship to GAS and the Glass Art Society.
Yes, sure. Well, what's really nice is that in 2002, when the GAS was in Amsterdam, I was actually also there, and I joined for the first time in the program, and that was really, really exciting. And one of the highlights was like the glass blowing barge, which was lying outside the venue where it was kept, and people were actually blowing glass on the canals in Amsterdam. So it was very picturesque. And the Dutch glass artists put together an exhibition, so to show the Americans and the rest of the world who was coming to show what was going on in the Netherlands. And then after that, I think it went a bit quiet for me for GAS. I was just busy blowing my glass, and now I felt really the need to reach out and to connect because of the COVID partly as well. And so I became a member and enjoyed the conference, and I had some really, really interesting and nice conversations online and joined some lectures. So that was really exciting.
Yeah, I remember. So for the virtual 2021 conference we had back in May, I first was able to meet you very briefly during our members exhibition show. So you were one of the featured artists within that digital exhibition and catalog. So for folks that's available, you can go to our website and check out that whole, both the digital catalog and the exhibition that Bibi's featured in. So it's nice to keep on cultivating this relationship with you. And I will say we're still in the review period for the Tacoma 2022 conference, but I definitely saw your name pop up for proposals.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah. I know that person. Well, that's great. We'd love to see more folks join us both virtually and in person as well.
Yep.
So also speaking of relationships, could you tell us how your relationship to glass began? Because it's such a unique medium and material to use.
Yes, I think it's always, the love of glass has always been there. But when I was a young girl, I was using watercolor a lot. And I think that watercolor and glass are similar in that it works with transparency and layers and light falling through. And so for me, there is a connection there. But the real love became when I was a student in Farnham and I saw people blowing glass. I just couldn't believe the material itself, the softness, and the fact that it was actually giving light. It was radiating light, and it was like honey. It was just, it never let go. So after my foundation year, which I did to experience a wide variety of art expressions, I definitely chose for glass. There was just no going back for me. And I still feel the same when I see the material, when I see the hot glass, when the furnace is on, I want to blow glass, and it's just, the love has never left me.
I love hearing that, and I feel that throughout a lot of these interviews, it has this just kind of, in a really amazing way, like an intoxicating nature to it, where it just becomes almost mesmerizing, both the process and then the final pieces often.
Yeah, a healthy obsession, shall we say. Yeah.
So I also do want to highlight, because I think artists have just a really interesting way of using their words in addition to their visual projects and pieces. But you talk about glass as a kind of transparency, immediacy, and spontaneity, and the piece needs to have movement, that it needs to be alive, it needs to convey a message or a thought or a feeling to another person. And I just thought that was a really beautiful way to talk about the medium. And I'm curious, for these pieces, what types of techniques do you use to kind of create this type of effect or visualization?
Yeah. Funnily enough, the two techniques that I use most are techniques that don't actually touch the glass, because one is the heat, using the heat, and the other one is using the gravity. And I find that by twisting, like turning and twisting the blowpipe in a certain way, that you can also shape the piece in many different ways. And another instance that I'm shaping the glass, I'm actually using tools which I made myself by welding together soup spoons, like ladles, like steel ladles, like whole clusters of, excuse me, whole clusters of them. And I actually stretch the glass from the inside, pulling it and using the elasticity of the glass. And it's that movement that it has when it's hot, when it's still flowing, or when you can blow it, or when it's stretching. It's that to me never leaves. Even when the glass is cold, I can still feel that, and I want to use that quality of the glass. And I think the decision that I make when I'm making the piece are very much intuitive. So although I need to prepare what I'm doing, because I need to have the tools, and I need to instruct the people I work with, you know, what they need to do and when, it's still very much also at a specific time when the piece has the thing happening that it needs to have happening, that it comes from the heart, from the intuition, which I think is important. And then somehow I hope that the piece, that feeling that I have, that will come out in the piece and speak to the people when they see it, to the onlookers. I don't know if I say that clearly, but it's very feely kind of thing, instinctive thing.
Yeah, speaking of instinct, I don't know, this wasn't on my radar initially, but earlier today I was looking through your Instagram account, and I noticed that you were featured on an HBO show, kind of talking a little bit to nature and that feeling, the calmness, and I believe it was called A World of Calm.
Yes.
How amazing. Could you maybe tell us about that experience?
Well, I didn't have so much to do with it. It was just made. And the material came from a filmmaker called Rosa Boesten. And I had asked her like 3 years previously or something to make me a little movie about glass, and to film me making glass and to somehow convey the magic of it, and not it to be an instructive kind of thing, but to convey the message of my work and the magic of glass blowing. And she made, they turned, what do you call it? They filmed for 2 days. And so they had a lot of material. And from that, they distilled 2.5 minutes of movie, which is called Moving Glass, which is on Vimeo. And this filmmaker from HBO actually has got the material from Rosa that she didn't use. And they kind of mixed it with other things that have nothing to do with me. And they created this thing, which is also really, really beautiful. There was so much beautiful material that she didn't use. So I was happy that it came out in this way. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed, and some of the comments I noticed of people were just amazed, like, oh wow, this was just so nice to watch to kind of calm down after having dinner with the family. So I'll definitely have to take a look at that later.
Yeah, that was made full on in the Corona time when people were wanting to I think feel good and be relaxed and to have the stress taken from them, and that was how the thought of these series, this calm series, came about. But we haven't seen it yet here in Holland because we don't have HBO.
Oh, really? Oh,
It's
no.
funny.
Well, I hope they're able to get
That'll
that
come
to you at some point. So yes, speaking of calm, so that little segment, A World of Calm, in some of the emails that you and I have written back and forth, you had mentioned at one point that calmness of being in nature, the wind, the water, and natural phenomena, those are some of the main inspirations for your work. And as part of your artist statement, you actually explain that there's this delicate relationship between nature and movement, and then the pieces that you create. Could you maybe talk about what that relationship to nature is like?
Yes, I think for me, it's also, no, I'll start again. An interesting, sorry, I lost it for a moment. Start again. It also came about from the Calm series. I feel the need to be quiet within myself and to lose the stress and to be in another world for a moment. And one of the pieces that I wanted to make and ended up making was called Belenos, which is to do with the big installation of the lights and the glass shapes that I made, and the lights that are gently, almost like they're breathing or talking to each other. And the whole piece is like 2 meters by 2 meters. And I wanted to create something big that so you're part of it. And I wanted the onlooker to kind of gaze into it and to forget time, which doesn't exist anyway, I think, and to forget about all the worries and to just let everything happen and just let the senses come to you. So you're listening and you're feeling, but you're not really thinking anything. So almost like a meditative state. And that's part of the thing that I also experience when I'm in nature. So maybe that's part of what I wanted to bring across. And that's part of your question, because movement is the other part of the question, which is just, I don't know. It's something I've been intrigued for a long time, and I think it's essence of life. Movement is the essence of life. I think it's because the opposite I hate. I don't want stuff to stand still and nothing to happen. That's just not good. So everything needs to move and everything needs to go in a direction, and that's the essence of the world.
Yeah, lovely put. And I'm curious to hear more, perhaps. There's two sides of this. One, the nature part. So do you often find that both for inspiration and just for yourself, as kind of you were mentioning earlier, dealing with stress or just, needing to take a break perhaps, do you often find yourself going on walks or hikes, or what part of nature do you find yourself in?
Yeah, and it could be anything. It just could be, even if you're in the city, you just look up and you see the clouds and you have nature. And I think it's connected with my belief that nature has an energy that gives power to you. So it doesn't matter where you are, if you're in a little garden or you're in a field or in the woods or on the sea. It doesn't matter where you are. So yeah, I do like to be in nature a lot, and I live just outside Amsterdam. And you'd think it was still built up here, but it isn't. It's just farmland and a bit of woods and a lot of water. And it's important for me to be here. And I lived in Amsterdam for 5 years, and that was fun. But 8 years, sorry, it was. But I'm a nature person, yeah. Which is why I lived in Scotland for so long. That's obvious.
I haven't been to either of those places. There were
Oh,
definitely.
Jenna. Oh, you're warmly invited. You should come. You should come.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely. Fingers crossed. I have that travel itch. I'm so ready to get out and explore.
Yeah, good.
Especially, I've actually really started to like hiking more. Have you gone hiking in your part of the world recently?
Yeah, well, hiking is not the word, but I take the dogs for a walk every day, and I'm always like it's somewhere between 7 and 8 or 7 and 9. I'm an hour in the woods with the dogs, and for me, it's the best way to start a day. So I can walk and think about the day, but I can also like meditation, not think about anything, or just connect with the dogs and meet people, chatting with them as I'm walking, and so that's my hiking. But yeah, for the rest. Yeah, traveling has been a bit off the menu in the last 2 years. So hopefully tomorrow when we're in France or the day after, I'll be hiking again properly.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you were just saying. Like, what a beautiful kind of daily ritual to start your day of just going outside and going for a walk, whether it's alone or with animals, if you have them. As a side to working for the Glass Art Society, I also have my own yoga and meditation practice. And
really?
So yeah, and so it's been really interesting kind of exploring different ways to start your day that really just sets the stage for how you show up in other arenas. So what a great inspiration for folks. Where I am in Phoenix, it's very hot. So it's already 90 degrees Fahrenheit by 8 a.m. So I don't always get out for a walk, but when I do, it feels really good. And kind of that second part of what we were talking about earlier of movement, I feel like getting your body moving makes such a difference to just overall well-being.
Gets the blood running, get the blood moving. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So, the next arena that I want to talk to you about was your art practice. And you actually brought up the one piece that I was really interested in talking with you about, which was Belenos. And so you already gave us a little bit of a visual description where there's some audio, there's some lights that are happening, and it is this kind of immersive experience that could also be meditative if you so choose. And I was curious after reading, and I want to read this one part I found on your website that I found so interesting. You said, I found an interesting connection between meditation and gazing at the shapes. To look at the vases as if they are talking with each other in a random light show. Belenos was the Celtic god of light, the shining god associated with the healing power of the sun. I found that interesting. I hoped that would be the outcome, to heal with staring. Whoa. That I just was like, wow. And I, in particular, was really interested. So we've talked a little bit about meditation and that arena, but I was curious how you drew this connection to mythology and how that showed up in your work. Can you maybe talk about that a little?
Yeah, in this instance, it was because it was just perfect, because it had the connection, coupling with, what's the wrong word? It had this god has both light. It's a god of light and a god of healing in one person, and I thought that suits it down to the ground, to the feeling that I want to give. So I don't make many connection to mythology, but this one was just, and it had the added benefit that it was a Scottish okay, Celtic god, so that added to the feeling for me.
Yeah. So how were you even aware of that person or that god, I should say?
Yeah, well, I think it was partly talking about it with people, and partly just searching it, researching it, and finding that out. Yeah.
Are there any other, speaking of research, other things that you tend to research for your body of work?
Yeah, all the time, but also always in different ways. Yeah, but not a lot from the internet or from reading, but a lot from personal experience. I need to feel it. I need to feel everything. I need to see it. I need to talk maybe, and then it can be, if I find something that I know nothing about, then I'm really interested in solar flares and the heat and everything, and I want to understand how that works. So yeah, then you have to read and or find somebody who knows a lot about it. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm always curious what artists, because, and I'll be honest, I didn't realize until probably a couple of years ago that there is this huge part of research that goes into, at least a lot of folks that I've been in relationship with, the process for creating. And so I'm curious as to what contemporary artists are researching at this time.
Yeah.
So the kind of last area of the conversation I would love to explore with you is just this maybe high level idea of self-care and sustainability. And at the Glass Art Society, we're really interested in starting to explore sustainability through that lens, through a person as a person. And as an artist, you're also usually juggling 10 or so different projects, you're entrepreneurs, and there's a lot that you have to manage. And so how can we support artists in having sustainable art careers? And I'm curious for you, what does a sustainable practice mean or look like?
Yeah, you all know Lino, of course, and Lino Tagliapietra, and I was made aware that he is retiring round about now, and I found out that he has the tender age of 87 or round about there, and I thought, I just could not believe that he was still blowing glass at that age, and I so am inspired by this, and so I have my goal firmly set on being 87 and still blowing glass. And that to me is what I'm aiming for, and what I'm trying to do to get there is keep my body fit by walking the dogs every day and by doing the yoga like yourself. And I find the yoga really helps me to one thing, the back pain, because you're always sitting blowing glass at an angle, which is really unhealthy, really. So it helps for that, and then it also helps me to. Well, it trains my focus for blowing glass, because I find that if I think for 1% on something else, it's not going to work. I need to be 100% focused and concentrated on what I'm doing. So I find the yoga and meditation really helpful for that. And then what I do, I have a furnace which is not on all the time. I have it on maybe 3 or 4 times a year for about, it can be anything up from 2 weeks up to 2 months. And it depends on the projects I'm doing, the exhibitions and the work I want to make, or the inspiration, but it also depends on the other things that are happening at the time. And I find that I want to make my agenda like a wave. So the wave's up, I'm blowing glass and I'm working really hard, and then the wave goes down, and then I can pack the work, polish the work, do the cold work, travel to the galleries. And so I'm not blowing glass every day, each and every day, because I think that is so tiring for your body. And so yeah, I don't see myself getting old like that. So I work hard, I work really hard, and then I rest my body by doing more meditative stuff like cutting and polishing. So that's one way. And I've thought about this a long time, because I even read it. I made my thesis about researching how different people set up the workshop, and do they work alone, do they work as a group, or do they have a husband-wife team, and always found that really interesting. So this furnace is fantastic. It wants to be turned on and off, and it doesn't suffer from that, and that really suits me well. So I would definitely recommend that if people can have that furnace, that type of furnace.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I hope some folks find that inspiring. And I'm curious, so for now, if you're able to, we have briefly discussed ahead of time, potentially showing us around some of your space, whether it's the gallery or where you currently are. Is that still available for us?
Yes, you can, of course. But as we did in the test run, the Wi-Fi is not good in all the different places. But I don't know. I'll need to reconnect or something if I'm flying out of it. But we can try it.
Yeah, let's go. If everyone that is still here, and then we'll also have this recording available later, so folks could take a look. But yeah, we'd love to see some of the work that you currently have.
There you go.
And then as we get ready to look around the space.
Video, or would you like to see how am I doing this? Should I turn around the right?
Sure, whatever is easier for you.
Say that again?
It should just be, you'll see two little arrows kind of in a circular motion, so you can just, that should be up on your screen. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, I see it. Yes.
Yay!
Hooray! Okay, so this is the studio I'm in now with all the stock, and
nature.
I'm currently working on a sort of swarm installation with the rings. Now we can walk outside, and the sun is shining.
Oh, nice!
And the chickens are happy. You see the chickens? And then we walked to the glassblowing studio, which was used to be a horse stable.
Oh, interesting.
This is maybe where you lose me, but I try.
Oh.
You see?
Yes, it's definitely a little spotty. Oh, there we go.
That's better. Okay, I'm standing in the doorway. Okay, so there's the furnace. It's like an egg shape. And I'm working on a sculpture with wood, so that's there.
Fantastic.
So this is the glass blowing part. That's my tools. That's the bench. And you still there?
Yes, still here.
Okay. And around the corner is the cold glass studio.
Nice.
Right, and these are my...
So many windows.
I know, my Kugler colors. Everybody recognize that. And I can walk to I have a sort of a gallery.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
Would you like to see that?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll back in. Sandblaster. And a big bag of glass.
Glass.
Now we're going down. I wasn't prepared for this, so I have no idea what's happening. So these are some of the cloud shapes that I'm working on.
Beautiful.
And some of the thread pieces that I'm doing.
Lovely. Thank you so much for showing us.
And then here are the boxes. I don't know, it's very dark, that are on the way. I have an exhibition in Milan. And so I've already packed the work because that's happening when I come back from my holidays.
That's so awesome. You're able to have your own little gallery, and the lighting is beautiful. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hearts in Instagram, so folks are really enjoying seeing it.
Yeah, I see them flying by. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really
Well,
nice to have
so
a space to see what the work looks like if it's in the gallery, and it's also nice to have guests coming and have mini exhibitions, house exhibitions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you so much for showing us. And then to kind of close out our conversation, we wanted to open up the space. If folks who are still with us have any questions for Bibi, please feel free to type those in the chat and able to answer them. I know we've gone over time just a little bit. I was excited to see your space.
Okay.
Yeah, so any questions about the studio we just saw, the work that Bibi's currently making, or any other questions, feel free to type those in. And if you don't have any right now, that is perfectly fine. There will be more ways to connect afterwards. I've been trying to drink. That's one of my recent health goals, is to try to drink more water.
You're drinking water, yeah. Well, what is 90 Fahrenheit in Celsius?
I think it's 30.
Oh.
In the 30s maybe.
Okay.
But I'm not entirely sure.
That is hot. That is too hot for walking. You should be swimming.
Oh my gosh, yes. Close to a water source is always preferable. All right. Well, if no one has any questions, I would just want to honor your time. And I know you have a whole big trip to get ready for tomorrow. So thank you so much for being our guest for our August Glass Reflections conversation. You mentioned that you're going to be having an exhibition in Milan soon. Is there other places where people can find you and your work?
Yeah, at the same time, there is the Venice Glass Week, which is happening in 2 weeks. They've spread it over 2 weeks. And I'm also exhibiting a bit there. And then there are some galleries in Holland. So for anybody who's looking in Holland, look at my website. But for the rest, the Milan is the biggest thing for now to be preparing for. And in The Hague in October.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, yep. So when we wrap up this program, the recording will be on the Glass Art Society Instagram page. We'll also upload it to our website and our YouTube channel, and we'll be sure to link Bibi's Instagram and website, which are both just beautiful resources. You should definitely take a look. And I hope everyone has a good rest of their day or night, depending on where you are.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and I'll see everyone next month.
Jenna, thank you very much for this interview, and it was nice to, and thank you everybody else who was watching us. And yeah, have a nice day or night.
Yeah, bye. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Look forward to seeing you. All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.